Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Nordschleife, not to be confused with the Thugschleife. I am very attractive. With me, as always, is the man who invented the cinnamon squares, Miodrag Milosevic, war criminal at large.
I feel like I'd be very rich if I invented cinnamon squares, but I am not.
The cinnamon non-Euclidean shapes.
What is with the non-Euclidean?
It's just funny. You can just throw it on anything, and it means nothing, but it still sounds
okay.
Good.
For those unaware, we've been talking for a couple minutes, and non-Euclidean has been used like 8 times. It's a bit insane.
Because my mind is non-Euclidean.
I see, but that's not wrong. That's not wrong. We're here at the Nordschleife for the Porsche GT Cup series. I am very ill today, so you may get me very cranky. I have had a.
He's got
I have done the porcelain dance. I can tell you in great detail what stomach acid tastes like. And I wouldn't recommend it, although now I've got some breadsticks in me, and they're holding it down. So this appears to be all good.
Breadsticks?
Breadsticks.
Oh, my bad.
And tomorrow I'm helping my roommate get the move on, so soon I will have the apartment to myself, which is cool, which is exciting, but at the same time also means the rent is going way up, and I'm a little terrified by that. We'll see how it goes.
Just do what I do. Hold up banks.
The Tugas boys have done their homework. We got Tobias Thierolf, Rene Ermer, and Javier Vega up front. Max Simmons, Alfonso Alexander. Lasse Passer is, I believe, a new face. He's in 6th place, ahead of James Butler, Luciano Chazzo, Andrew D, Bertrand Barrier. Barrier's way down there, so is Martin Edmonds, and Maciej Kaszuk. Don't know if we have just 12 cars. Probably have more, and people just didn't get laps in. But we'll find out when the race starts. So, Byron, how's your day been?
The worst. I woke up, I had breakfast, I dicked around the internet, had a shower, had a nap, and now we're here.
Oh, there's at least 18 cars in the field, so there's at least 6 people who didn't get a lap time. Interesting. We have the warm-up here. So, time for Byron to get his quote of the day. I like to hit him with the quotes from my audiobooks I'm listening to. So the one I'm listening to right now is called Liberty or Death. It's the newest book in the Exile Fleet series, and it's so far been pretty good. There is a bit in the book where they're discussing the various nations coming together to resist a threat from beyond the veil, which is like an intergalactic invasion sort of thing. And the one character goes, "I hear the Rastafarians are sending a delegation to this meeting," and the other guy goes, "They're too far away. They couldn't have possibly even. They can't even know about what's going on right now. Never mind send a delegation." And he goes, "No, not the Rastafarians. The Rastafarians. What do you mean? The religious cult that's dedicated to peace and tranquility, and that old Earth artist with the really weird hair." So, according to the Exile Fleet, in the future, we will have a religion dedicated to Bob Ross.
I'm entirely down with this.
Indeed. I thought you'd enjoy that. Ooh, I'm taking sips of water quite frequently to combat the bird, so...
Just fight it with whiskey.
I don't think that would help. I think that's a bad idea.
Burn all the nerve endings out, it can't hurt.
I think sir, if the stomach acid didn't do that, I don't know what to tell you. I like the beats that are going on in the infield section. We enjoy the music that's hitting the campgrounds around Nordschleife. I don't think I've noticed that before. Maybe that's a new thing in the last patch. Some kind of German rave going on trackside as the guys work their warm-up, try to get a feel for this track, which is exceptionally hard. We haven't even really talked about the Nordschleife yet, because we talked about the Nordschleife a lot. We had a series here not too long ago, so like I'm honestly a little bored of the Nordschleife. say for this point. Because we've covered it so much, but it is one of the world's most challenging tracks. It is a place where like there are people who literally make their career as race car drivers just driving the Nordschleife. It's that level of specialization that I think you honestly have to try to drive the Nordschleife to fully understand it. Like just how insane and difficult and long this track is. It's really, really long. Javier Vega. Not sure what he's doing there. Picking up Max Simmons in the FedEx car. He'll be starting from P4. Max has not seemingly had a great handle on this car, to be honest. He hasn't had his normal top of the field qualifying pace really throughout the series. And it's interesting to see the development because the Porsche and him in Assetto Corsa Competizione get along pretty well. So it's a bit interesting. Not that it's the same Porsche because this is a Cup car versus a GT3 car. But it's a bit interesting that he's been struggling with the rear engine nature of the Porsche in this series. And when I say struggling, I mean still like top 5. So, you know, it's a relative term.
Who's it related to?
Relative to his performance and other things. Max Simmons is racking up ESR titles like his name was Mike Stockmill for like the last little bit. Not really sure why there's so many cars stopping out of the pits. Not really sure what's going on with that.
Well, there's some red stripy things over there, so that's obviously a stop sign.
Rene Erber starting from P2 is an interesting development. It's a little bit punching above his weight for him, but Rene is also a quality driver, so looking forward to seeing what he can do at the front of the pack. And congratulations, Byron, on your victory in the Slam Ball Simulator against the defending champions.
I am clearly the best.
Right now, it would appear to be.
The best around. I have the largest point differential as well, I think.
You did. You are in first place. Your defense held up quite well. Chris Robbins had an amazing game.
I'm going to hang one on him.
And looks like your stopper position's much improved this season with the beast Kevin Cassidy.
That was the goal and the plan. And everybody else I drafted, I believe, has a superior defensive mindset.
Also, I love the up elbow that he hit Chris Young with during the game. That was pretty funny. So, Young went in for just a simple power move to the bucket. And here comes Kevin Cassidy up with the elbow up at his eyeball and bam, right in the chin. And that put Chris Young out of the game. For those who don't know what we're talking about, I dabble in various sports simulators, and one of them is a Slam Ball Sim, which is a hybrid sport of basketball, hockey, and trampolines. So, here we go. Tobias Thierolf to lead. Oh no, Irmer's not on the front row. What was I saying? It's Vega and Thierolf on the front row. And off we go. No, maybe it is Irmer. I don't know. I think it got missed. I think we're getting really messed up results there on the tower. I'm going to wait for that to settle down because Ricardo Costa, like I said, yeah, he's not at the front. Yeah, that is Irmer up front, I think, in the Race Union car. He is leading the way into turn 1. Tobias Thierolf in the Castrol car is in second place. Vega in third. Quite sure who that is in fourth place. It's Alfonso Alexandre. John Barker getting a slowdown penalty already. Vega going side by side with Alfonso and comes out in front. And Alfonso might get shoved back here behind Max Simmons in the FedEx car. But they are still close together, battling over fourth place. Laissez Passer is in, or Passe, I guess, is in sixth place. Luciano Chazo in seventh. Max Simmons trying to make his way through here into the top 4, but denied for the time being by Alfonso. Passer, Chazo, Butler, D, and Barthez. Romy Barths in the top 10, Byron. Tobias Thierolf goes side by side with Javier Vega, but Vega cannot make that overtake stick. Ricardo Costa at the back of the pack, along with Vic Vega, John Barker, Magic Kashchuk, Anthony Willis, Bertrand Barrier, Martin Edmonds, and Henrik Andreasen. A lot of guys outside the top 10 that we're used to seeing in the top 10. Talented field today. Chazo dropping a spot behind Butler. 7th place changing hands. Alfonso left the inside open there a little bit, but Simmons didn't force the issue. Rene Armour has a good little cushion up front, as Tobias has a train behind him.
Come on, ride that train.
If you're interested in things like the Slam Ball Simulator, check out my Discord. Just give me a PM on Discord and I will give you a link.
Don't do it, it's a trick.
It's not.
It's horrible.
Don't discourage the people. You love it.
He berates us, calls us names. Sometimes he doesn't even give us retrans for it.
I don't really think I call anyone names much. Even in the MMA commentaries. I'll call people that are not in the Discord names. Like that fat man from Ohio, whose name will not be mentioned on camera.
Dr. Phil?
No. His Steakums Highness.
Oh, okay.
Javier Vega's still in 3rd place. And things are starting to stretch out a little bit here in this 90-minute race. Luciano Chazo is really falling back through the field. He's been overtaken by Andreasen, Barthez, Edmonds. Butler is also falling back to 16th place. So I wonder if Chazo and Butler came to blows. We didn't see it. Javier Vega still on the tail. Looking for that position. I will pull up the standings and give us everyone a rundown of where we stand coming into this 4th round of the championship.
Everybody is in last place.
Well, that's not the case because only one person can officially be in last place. Or I guess
various penalties and demerits. Everybody is simultaneously in 1st and last place.
So Theorolf has been the dominant man so far through this series. He won at Watkins Glen, he won at Oschersleben, and he won one out of the 2 races at Portimao. So he's got 3 wins out of 4. And the other race winner has been Thomas Centeno, who's not here today. He won the 1st race at Portimao. Henrik Andreasen on the tail of Laissez-Passer. How's Andreasen doing? Pair of podiums to his name. 2nd place at Watkins Glen. 3rd place in race 1 at Portimao. Had a week's showing at the 2nd race and missed Oschersleben. But it is Theorolf pretty commandingly in the lead at this point in the championship. But, you know, there's a good crowd behind him, including the likes of Max Simmons, Martin Edmonds, Roby Bartz, Rene Armour, Andreasen, Bertrand Barrier, Javier Vega. They're all kind of still in shouting distance. We got coming up a doubleheader in Mid-Ohio. Then it's off to Interlagos and TT Assen. So one of the cars is off there. That is Roman Barthez, I believe. Falling back. It'll be interesting to see Interlagos and TT Assen because I've not actually seen what those 2 tracks look like in race 1 yet. And they're 2 tracks that I do really, really like. Interlagos, of course, the home of Formula 1 in Brazil for a number of years. And TT Assen is kind of the 2nd track of Holland. Usually used more for motorcycles than 4-wheeled cars, but hey. doesn't mean that it doesn't work for both. Andreas set up into 5th place, trailing Simmons. He's gotten past Leze Passera, and Javier Vega has fallen back to 7th. I completely missed what happened with Vega. He is back there now.
It's because you're a nerd and you had your nose in the numbers. I can tell you what happened, but I'm not.
You're not wrong. What happened?
I'm not going to tell you.
You should.
You should have known better. You should have been
tell the people.
Semi-professional.
I think I'm very professional. Not really.
Wrong.
Not really. We are not paid to do this, therefore we are not professional. If you would like us to be more professional, pay us. Javier Vega losing the front end and falling backwards. So this race is quickly going against him. I don't know if there's a pit stop required here, but for his sake, I kind of hope there is. And I hope the window opens up relatively soon. Because he's in a rough state right now. Andreasen all over Max Simmons, who just doesn't seem to have a lot of pace here today. Which is interesting. We don't usually say that about Max. Rene Irmer has taken about a 4-second lead over the field. He's up there and doing an excellent job. Rene's season to date includes 5th place at Oschersleben, 4th place at Watkins Glen, but is coming off a really, really bad outing at Portimao, where he managed just a pair of 10th places.
The Port of Meow.
Slow-moving
if you do the race, you have to adopt a cat.
Slow-moving Alfonso Alexandre is giving Simmons as well as Andreas in a run here. Will they get him? Could see a 3 wide here. They're trying to gobble up all of that slipstream that they can, and Andreasen's done an excellent job of it, and has actually overtaken Simmons. So Simmons went too early trying to overtake Alexandre, and it allowed Andreasen to get him. And it allowed the defense from Alexandre, and Andreasen's going to bag them both, move into 3rd place. Doing a good job.
It was the best of jobs.
Simmons has actually not had a podium so far this
the Steve of jobs.
So far this series. He's had a 4th place at Oschersleben is his best result, followed by 5th at Watkins Glen and Portimao, and then an 11th at Portimao. If I recall correctly, he had a fuel mix-up at Portimao that forced him to make a pit stop for fuel that the other cars did not have to do. Anthony Willis has fallen to the back of the pack, and I think might be out of the race.
Or maybe he's just beginning a new race.
He's had a rough time. Willis is actually, he missed Portimao, but DNF'd both Watkins, Glen, and Oschersleben. I wonder if he's having some hardware or software issues, honestly, in the car. Because he's not usually a guy you would think of as a rage quitter or a man to throw the towel in. It does make me wonder if he's got some kind of setup issue. We have seen that at various points in the past, such as James Butler's constant crashing. Where the game would just crash on him in a center course that comes to Chicane, and it gave him a bunch of DNFs. Andreasen off the track there. Under some attention from both Max Simmons and Alexandre. Oh, here I was thinking the whole time it was Alfonso. It's just Afonso. There's no L.
It's Albert Fonzo the Great.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone with just Afonso as a name. That's intriguing.
We can just call him the Fonz.
Could, or Fonzie. Or Fonzo.
Fonzito.
A lot of fun nicknames you can assign with that kind of name. Luciano Chazo's working his way back up into 8th place behind Romy Bartz. Maximum Simmons riding in the slipstream once again.
Word on the street is that he hasn't quite maximized the Simmons and students team stuff.
Maybe not. He's getting close.
Or maybe he's allergic to German racing tracks.
Maybe. I doubt it, though. He's had great success on various German tracks. I think you're just being a little rude with that statement.
I could be ruder. Maxwell, you suck.
I don't think that works, and I don't think he would really be offended by that because he knows it's so ludicrous.
The worst. Absolutely the worst.
This man is the second coming of Mike Stoppel. You need to accept that and move on.
Wow. I don't think that's true. You're probably close.
No, he's not quite as smooth as Mike Stoppel was. That's
Stoppel is 78 years old, so he's had a lifetime to develop that.
He's not that old.
75?
That is Bertrand Barrier off the track, recovering. He's having a rough day by his standards. Whoa, what was that? There's a huge pileup. That's definitely going to have to be looked at, I think, on the stewarding.
They're just giving each other a hug. It's fine.
I don't know about that. That looked quite bad from what we saw. Now, granted, we just saw a flash of it, but still, as Martin Edmonds hunting down Luciano Chazo. Interesting livery choice by Chazo. Normally, he's very big on the Argentinian flag colors, the light blue and the white. And Henrik Andreasen overtaking Tobias Thirol for second place. But on this occasion, Chazo is rocking the Monster Energy line. Picking any big upsets in the fights on Saturday there, Byron? Or
yep, I think Chuck Liddell's gonna lose.
He's not fighting.
See, he's already lost.
We hope not. We hope he never fights again, frankly.
Honestly, I have no idea who's fighting this weekend.
You got Mackenzie Dern versus Gianna Nyan. We got Randy Brown versus Francisco Trinaldo. Ronnie Barcelos versus Trevin Jones. Sadiq Youssef versus Shameless Don Shanus, which I do actually really like that nickname.
Do we get Trevin Giles versus Trevin Jones?
Different weight classes, but actually only one weight class apart, so it's actually not that ridiculous. No, Jones is like a bantamweight. Giles is like welterweight. That's a lot of gap to ask.
I'm assuming everybody's counting Alexei Olenek out, so therefore I'm totally backing my boy the bogus.
I am picking Latifi, but I don't see how you choke Ilar Latifi.
You squeeze him till his head blows up.
But
I
will say this: Latifi is one of the few people who will absolutely go to the ground with Olenek. I don't think that there's an Ilar Latifi game plan that doesn't involve taking Olenek down. So Olenek will get chances to squeeze that head.
Hell yeah. Maxim Grishin versus Maximov.
No, he's fighting Philippines.
You didn't even let me. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Mr. Literal. Why don't you get out there at Nordschleife and write down a mathematical formula, you nerd?
You know, if I lived in Germany, I totally would be the one writing a mathematical formula across.
That is 100% true.
I am looking forward to seeing Neto BJJ fight again against Jesse Ronson, Bertrand Barrier with another spin. He's having a rough day.
What?
Well, we're used to seeing Bertrand Barrier fighting for like top 5s and podiums, and he's down in 17th place. So I think that kind of covers it. This is a guy who had 2nd places this season at Oschersleben and Portimao.
Oschersleben.
So to see him struggling this badly, it's out of character. There is the ever rare thing in MMA, which is there is an actually dead even money fight on this card.
Is it the fight between Mackenzie Dern and Ilir Latifi?
No.
Is it the
Alfonso
fight
going for it? Alfonso? I'm going to keep adding that L in there, probably. I know this, just because this name just... Fonzo, there we go. I'm going to get rid of the A. It's going to help me out. Fonzo.
Fonz. Just call him
the Fonz going for the overtake here on Max Simmons.
And also you called him a double.
Oh!
Oh my goodness.
I'm not sure if there was contact
Guilty,
there.
go to race jail.
I'm not sure if there was contact there, or if that was Alfonso, or if that was the Fonz losing control of the car, to be honest. It's a bit weird. That'll probably go to the stewards.
Max, you're going to race jail.
Might be.
25 years to life, no parole. Sans le parole.
Sans le parole.
I'm going to tell you what right now. I went me to the 7-Eleven. You already know this, but I went me to the 7-Eleven and I just wanted a snack as well as a few things that I actually needed.
Okay.
And I found these chili peanuts that are made by this is not an advertisement, but it also is. There's this company called Guru Lucky, and they're apparently, they're from India, but I think they do everything in Canada.
What you're saying is we have no sponsorship deal with
We're not affiliated, even though Mike apparently is doing desperate things to try and get Fruit 20 to sponsor something.
I don't think they would, because I think Fruit 20 is purely a purchase that has nothing to do with advertising.
I think Mike's been swallowing whole bananas on stream, trying to get Fruit 20's attention.
Wouldn't work. They actually have no banana flavor.
Peanuts are
Ricardo Costa recovery from the spin. Anyways, continue with the peanuts.
I refuse. Okay, I'll do it. Yeah, these chili peanuts, like it says the ingredients list is literally peanuts, salt, chili powder. That's it. So I'm assuming I could make these, but I also assume it's going to take me a little bit of experimentation.
You probably need a big vat as John Barker recovers from a spin of some form. That is Bertrand Barrier moving back through.
But they're just spicy enough to keep me very happy.
I wish we could get a look at the back of Barker's car, because I think he's missing part of the lower body. There it is. He is missing a ton of body work. That back end that back end cannot feel good right now.
Work that body.
Your race leader, Rene Ermer, leading by almost 5 seconds. Took the lead at the start and honestly just hasn't looked back. Drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Javier Vega.
What?
Good news for Mr. Vega.
Hashtag Javier did nothing wrong.
He's way behind, so I do wonder if he might be out of the race, honestly. But we'll keep an eye on that gap and see if it just keeps growing or if it seems to stabilize at some point. It shrunk there a little bit. All right. I think he's still running.
Well, if he's running, he's definitely going to be far behind because you need a car.
As in the car is still running, sorry.
Oh, car is operational. I see what you're saying.
Also, if he went into the pit lane, which we saw earlier, he lost a good chunk of his front end. That would obviously put you quite a ways behind. So top 10 update, Rene Ermer leads from Henrik Andresen, who is closing in on Ermer, and pulling away from Tobias Thierolf and Max Simmons in 4th place. Laissez Passer in 5th place, followed by this man, the Fonz, Alfonso Alexander. Then Romain Barthez, Luciano Echazo, Martin Edmonds, and Andrew D.
Delightful.
17 cars still running. We have lost Anthony Willis.
What Willis are you talking about?
Talk about Anthony.
Anthony Wilczuk. I heard about him. I heard he's pretty good.
Anthony Wilczuk Wood.
How much wood could an Enderchuck chuck if an Enderchuck was forced to chuck wood?
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot. Enderchucks can get the job done.
Oh, good save. Good save there by the Fonz. Mandatory pit lane is open. So there was a mandatory pit option. Pretty long one, actually. And it's a shame that Vega couldn't make it to the mandatory pit window before making his pit stop. As he's looking at a pretty lonely day, 2+ minutes behind John Barker. I expect John Barker will be one of the early ones into the pit lane. We have seen that he's missing significant portions of his rear end. Probably wants the
He's lost some weight.
Look at that. Bertrand Barrier is having a rough day today. This track and him are not getting along, and that is Henrik Andresen in the wall. The 2nd place car in the wall, falling behind Tobias Thierolf, and that looked like a hard contact. He's also going to lose out to Max Simmons. He's going to lose out to Laissez Passer. He's going to lose out to the Fonz, to Romy Bartz. I would like the camera to be on. Nope, he's out. So, oh no! Laissez Passer in the wall!
Laissez unfair.
They're losing control of the cars! Romain Barthez has gone from 7th place to 5th place in a matter of turns.
My upstairs neighbor sneezes so loud, I wasn't even using press to talk, and I feel like you guys can still hear it.
When I was recording my podcast, the one fan was acting up, so I literally just stuck a thing of foam in there to be like, nope, you're not moving. You're not moving. I'm not dealing with that sound. And it's fine now. It's one of those, like, there's probably like a slightly wrong seating bearing in there that's like sometimes being noisy.
Yeah, I had one fan, an intake fan, that had one worn bearing. And every like week and a half, it's like the wrong tying on your gear on your bike hits the wrong link on your bike chain, but it only happens every like mile and a half, mathematically speaking. It was like that, and so for a day, every week and a half, it would just be.
Well, for me, it's an exhaust fan as opposed to an intake fan, but basically the same thing as
We'll just flip it around.
is in the wall again.
You just flip it around, then it's an intake fan.
Yeah, but the sound would remain. It's not gonna fix anything.
Maybe not. You never know.
I've just got the front off of the case so that I can, if it starts buzzing, I can stop it.
Shoot him.
And the fact that the computer is located directly underneath the air conditioning that actually does kind of help. It's pretty chill. So, like, stopping a fan doesn't kill the PC.
Just do what I do. Buy a new fan.
Actually, there's a switch on the top that probably can just turn the fan off if I wanted to. But I want the other one on is the problem. Like, it's linked to another fan. Luciano Chaza still running in 7th place as we looks like we've lost Bertrand Barrier. That might be for the best. Barrier was having a really rough time out there today. We're down to 15 cars. James Butler was up in the top 10, qualified really well, down in 11th right now, battling with Magic Kashchuk, an old foe of his. These two have gone head-to-head in a lot of ESR community events. And once again, they are doing their thing.
What if I told you that James might be English?
He is.
I don't know if you can really confirm that.
He's the most English guy on the track.
Does he race in a top hat and a monocle?
He probably does.
That sounds like, and with a walking stick instead of a gear shift.
We could make him into the Phil McKenzie of ESR.
Is that from Bob and Doug?
There is a podcast I listen to called The MMA Depressants, where they watch bad fights and basically react to the bad fights. And one of the people on it is Phil McKenzie, and he's British. And they'll always make jokes about his family owning a tin mine because it's distinctly British and being a colonizer. Like, he came back from the Greek islands for the last episode, and they're like, he has been to the Greek islands, he has planted the British flag, he has created another colony. John Barker, I think, is in the pit lane.
You would think that.
And yeah, they just generally crack on Phil McKenzie for no other reason other than he's British.
Just don't let him find out about Bob and Doug McKenzie.
They basically have modeled him as a British anime villain. Like, anytime he pauses when they're asking a question, they're like, he's totally doing the steepling of his fingers and pushing his glasses up with the middle finger like an anime villain does. It's a fun podcast. You should check it out, actually, Byron. I think you'd enjoy it.
I refuse. Okay, I might.
It's, Chaz on the tail of Laissez-Passer. Barker is out of the pits. He is the first man to clear his mandatory pit stop. Now, James Butler might want to think about maybe an undercut here. Go for the undercut, try and make it happen. See if he does. It is a bit early to be going for the pit stop, obviously. There's still over an hour left in the race. We're talking an hour, 61 and a half minutes, basically. But, the idea might be in the back of your head that if you're stuck behind someone like Butler is, that you think about that undercut option. Luciano Echaza, running in 7th place. Oh, Butler!
It's fine.
Very slow moment there for Kashchuk. My lord, that opened the door.
It's fine.
Butler is
just
through.
bubbling along.
Well, there goes Butler's need to ponder the undercut. Now the undercut man on the clock is Chasso, who was trailing the damaged car of Laissez-Passer. We saw him in the wall earlier. And obviously, there's certain opportunities that if he wants to go for the undercut, he can make that happen. Although Chaz is a bit of a weird one. Like, he either goes with a super overcut or a super undercut. He's never really in the middle, if you know what I mean. He's always playing some kind of tactical, strategic game with his pit stops. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him in the pits pretty soon.
How soon?
If he thinks that is an option. René Ermer, by the way, up 10.5 seconds up the road. He's in the lead from Tobias Thierolk with Max Simmons rounding off the podium. This will be the first podium of the season for Ermer. It would also be the first podium for Simmons, very surprisingly. Neither of them have stepped on the podium previously.
Well, I mean, they just put everybody in the wall. It's the podium.
I don't think you can do that in Nordschleife just because the track is so damn huge.
Well, you just have to slow down, let them catch up, and then like, oh, I mistakenly did a corner wrong, and now you're dead.
I feel like at some point they'd put you in the wall.
No.
I think so.
I know all the tricks. It's like, oh, no, you go on, yeah, blue flag, yeah, you go on, pit maneuver, thank you.
You can't claim blue flag when there's no blue flag.
You know what? I don't like your attitude.
The person who can pull the blue flags off right now is Javi Vega.
There you go. What about Wilczuk? He can get out there and just walk it.
Well, he's out of the race. Yeah, sure, I guess John.
You say that now.
I guess John Barker can do it as well.
Isn't that convenient?
Chazo, oh, that is John Barker off, I think, again. So, he's been in the pits, and it has not necessarily cured his ails.
What kind of ale?
The ails of a car missing several parts.
Is it like a red ale or like a Hefeweizen maybe?
It'd be a black ale, I would think.
Gross.
We're talking like the deepest, darkest Guinness shade of alcohol.
Actually, I have no idea if that's an ale. There is a technical difference between an ale and a beer, I think, but it's so dumb that it shouldn't really be a difference.
I think Guinness is an ale, but let's have a look.
You would say that to try and convince the people that things are what they are. Oh.
It is a beer. It is a dry stout beer.
I say rather. Are you ready for the headline of the week?
Hang on a second.
No.
We've lost the Fonz. Fonz is out of the race.
Fonz jumped the shark.
Brings us down to 14. Right, you may bring us our news.
Oh, no, I don't want to. The moment is past.
Okay.
All right, now ready. Are you ready for the headline of the week in pertaining to events in Florida?
Go ahead.
Hurricane Ian update. Florida man missing after trying to jet ski to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
That's Florida, man.
That will happen.
That is Florida, man. Luciano Chazo on the big straightaway here, looking for a move. Looking to take that 5th place. Got the inside line. Did he go a little too early, though? Did he break out of the toe a little early?
Put him in the wall! Yeah, put him in the wall!
Maybe. Here we go. He's trying to break the toe. He's got the wiggle on.
Like how the dudes in the pit lane are just huff and brake clean and jam into tunes.
Well, this is nowhere near the brake line. That's the campsite.
Shut up.
The track.
Shut up. Don't spoil my thing.
Whoa. Oh, boy.
Weeble wobble.
Laissez passer all over the place. And Chazo does
wobble.
have it. Although I do think he went for it a little bit too early. He had to do a lot of creative draft braking there to keep that spot.
He's a brick house. Laissez, gonna let it all fare out. Is little Timmy in the well? Oh, that's Lassie, my bad.
It's Lassie.
My bad, dog. What did I do there?
I did.
Sir, were you aware that Disturbed have their own coffee?
I'm aware.
Well, there you are. That's the end of that story. Thanks, kids, for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in to Story Time with Byron.
It's called Get Up, Dark Java Blend.
Oh, who's this? That is John Barker off again. Looks like we've lost Ricardo Costa from the festivities.
I don't think you can call him Retardo.
Ricardo.
Oh, Ricardo. My bad.
Like Ricardo Arona, sir.
Oh, Ricardo. Ah, see, Ricardo.
Woo! Laissez-passer, trying to get past Luciano Chiazzo. He's not done with the Chiazzo.
Laissez trying to pass on the
his
inside,
his car may be damaged, but he's bringing it. We've not seen a Chiazzo in either of the last 2 rounds. He missed Portimao and he missed Watkins Glen, but he did finish 6th place at Oschersleben.
Let Monsieur Laissez keep the Pinot Noir and the Camelback low.
Vic Vega's been in for his pit stop. And that is John Barker having a rough day. A rough day. Think Passe is going to have anything for Chiazzo here, sir?
You think you're going to try to pass on the inside or the outside, low?
I would say the inside is more likely.
Oh, maybe. Sacre bleu. And several other colors as well.
There's not many turns around here at Nordschleife that you can hang it around the outside and really have any expectation of success.
Oh, you just have to dangle it out the window, that's all.
It's been confirmed one of the 2 Canadians in F1 has lost their spot on the grid, Byron. Nicholas Latifi will not be returning next season.
Well, he has to fight fucking your boy, the boa constrictor. He's not gonna live past that.
Oh, James Butler off. Rejoins still ahead of Magic Cash Chuck, so nothing really lost. Car looks like it's in decent shape. Can't say the same for Laissez-passer.
Kind of buff.
Nicholas Latifi will be out at Williams next season. Don't know yet who will replace him. There are some thoughts that American Logan Sargent might be an option. Or super sub from last round, Nick DeVries.
Might I recommend Valtteri the Robot Buttock?
I believe Valtteri is signed on with Alfa Romeo, which might become Maserati in the near future.
Just the Beta Romeo.
F1 team with the most Eagles.
So much eagle. 3 more in the glove box.
Also, the patented X-shaped harness that lifts and separates.
My favorite. No dog food for Victor tonight.
Looking down the inside is Passe, but nothing doing this time. Slow down penalty for Tobias Thierwolf. Still a lot of pit stops to come. 13 cars of the 18 remaining. We've lost Ricardo Costa, Afonso Alexander, Bertrand Barrier, Hendrik Andreasen, and Anthony Willis from the race.
There is a certain Barrier to entry, and Laissez has made it a fair way across that.
Yes, sir. I think we might have lost John Barker, actually.
He is now currently barkering at the moon now.
Yeah, Costa's gap isn't growing to Barker, so we're down to 12. As Barker is out of the race. We saw him in the wall a couple of times. I can't say I really blame him.
I blame him for all of society's misfortune.
That's a little rough.
I mean, you're probably right, but Sacré bleu. Not sure why I'm stuck into French mode, but I will keep on.
He's going to keep on keeping on.
There is a lot of French in the race, and I will represent like no man has done before.
There's only one Frenchman left in the race.
Yeah.
This man.
Monsieur Barrier, he come from behind là. He going to spark off rally in the 14th round.
Monsieur Barrier is out of the race, sir.
You're going to take him 5-6 more minutes. He'll be back on the track.
It's not how it works. Going to see a lot of this battle, I think, between Achazo and Passe. Everyone else is pretty spread out at this point. Next closest battle is 2 seconds. This separates Tobias Theorolf and Maximus. We lost some big guns from this race. Alfonso Alexander and Henrik Andreasen were having excellent races at the times of their DNFs. Bertrand Barrier is a notable talent. He's out of the race as well. And while he is still running, Javier Vega has had a rough time and is down in 12th place. After looking like one of the podium contenders earlier in the race. Oh, contact.
It is fun.
Another piece of Passe. Another piece of Passe's front end flies off. I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised he hasn't hit the pits yet, because we are at about the halfway point. Like, this is a very realistic pit stop opportunity at this point, and getting that car fixed and getting out there with, in theory, a solid performing car, as we have Andrew D in the pit lane as well as Martin Edmonds. So they clearly have that thought. This would be the time for Passe to get in the pits, but he is going out there for another lap, which is 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes. So he's staying out there for a long time. Also in the pits, Magic Kashchuk.
Makes me want to listen to the Dandy Warhols. Never thought you'd be a junkie, but because heroin is so passe. Hey, hey.
Martin rejoins, as does Andrew D.
Oh shit! This just in. Apparently, the actual Sudbury Wolves will be wearing the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldog sweaters on the 9th of December. It will officially be Shorzy night. If you ain't watched Shorzy and or are not also familiar with Letterkenny, y'all needs to look into that. Find it on your TV screens or your local internet.
I'm surprised Sudbury still actually has an OHL team. I could have
Wow.
sworn I could have sworn they'd lost their team. But I'm looking at it now,
Wow.
and they do still have it.
Bro, there's an impossible amount of hot chicks in Sudbury.
They are the second furthest northern team in the OHL.
Right below Nunavut.
Nope.
Right below Kitchener.
Nope.
Right below Detroit.
Nope.
God dang it.
Sault Ste. Marie.
Right below Churchill.
No. The furthest northern OHL team is Sault Ste. Marie. The furthest south is surprising because you'd think it'd be an American team because there are American teams in the OHL, but it's not. Windsor is actually the furthest south.
It's literally Toronto because that's in basically just above Georgia.
No, Toronto doesn't actually have a team in the OHL.
That's not surprising. They think they're too cool.
That basically is what it sums up to.
Also, no one actually lives in Toronto. It's a big joke.
You've got Hamilton, Kingston, Oshawa, Ottawa, Peterborough, Barrie, Mississauga, Niagara, North Bay, Sudbury. Oh, there's a spin for Max Simmons.
Yeah.
And then you have Erie, which is in the States. Guelph, Kitchener, London, Owen Sound, Flint, Saginaw, Sarnia, Sault Ste. Marie, and Windsor.
What if I told you that Sarnia was basically Detroit?
No.
It's like 3 feet from Detroit.
It's really... that's more Windsor is more Detroit.
You're more Detroit.
I feel like you think you know Ontario geography, and you really don't.
You think that I don't know, but I do know, and I exaggerate intentionally to make things sound ridiculous.
I don't think
That
it sounded...
like a crash.
that was a crash. That was laissez-passer going into the wall.
Laissez is not treating that too fair.
I think the thing is our audience generally doesn't know anything about Ontario.
I am actually trying to intentionally seed misinformation. Don't get away with my thing.
I see.
So if they try and invade like it's Red Dawn, then we'll have them. It'll be easy.
I got you. I feel like they just invade Toronto.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, wait, no one lives here. These aren't like actual people.
Oh.
Like, what are we doing here?
Somebody was off in the atmosphere there. I think we got a quick flip over to somebody doing the cartwheel out in space. Rene Ermer still has the lead. Theorolf, Simmons, Barthez, Chazo, Passe, Butler, yet to pit. Edmonds, D, Kaschuk, Vega, Vic, have pitted. Javier Vega did pit, but outside of the pit window, so he has to pit again. And really is having a pretty lonely race at this point. But I appreciate that he is soldiering on, and it's going to take home points for 12th place at least. What does that translate to, out of curiosity? That's 7 points. He's on 7 points right now.
It translates to a one-way ticket to Thunder Bay Love.
The following cities formerly had teams in the OHL. Toronto. Do you have the Toronto Marlboros, which is a terrible name?
What league are the Marlies in?
That is the AHL.
That's not real.
There was a team in Detroit at one point, actually. They have moved and are now currently the Flint Firebirds.
Caw-caw!
The Marlboros are currently the Guelph Storm. And we have also had a team in Belleville, which is currently in Hamilton.
Luciano.
Luciano with a big spin, and
Gonna
looks like
whoop
he's got
his
some
goodies.
damage. Got some damage on the front end. Might want to get down into the pit lane and get that fixed. I'm really surprised him and Passe, more Passe, because Passe's been carrying around the damage for like a long time. I don't know why he hasn't pitted. Like, we're down to less than 40 minutes left in the race. Like, guys, pit stops. If you're carrying damage right now and haven't pitted, I don't know what to say.
All I know is I'm not going to end up down at Wasaga Beach getting a squeezer.
Take it easy there, big sexual.
Tabernacle Big Sexual. That is, I think, that might be the funniest moment in the entire goddamn show. Like, just as a standout moment.
You realize that actually wasn't scripted, right?
I got that impression.
it was ad-libbed.
Big Sexual, and then like everybody stops, and only Jared Kiso reacts with Big Sexual.
Well, there was actually 2 ad-lib scenes in that exchange. The other one was when she's trying to remember Hitch's name, and 12-inch cut, and he goes, "I've been called worse." That apparently was also ad-libbed. Max Simmons going for the lap. We know he's quite often the last of the hitters, and he's going to try and overcut Irmer and Thierol to try and make a thing happen here, as Magic Kazchuk has a spin. Kazchuk not really racing anybody at this moment, kind of quite a ways behind the battle between Edmonds and D, quite a ways ahead of Vic Vega. As Luciano Chaz is going to go for another one, and Laissez Passer is in the pit lane. Who is this? That is John Barker. So John Barker is still running. I thought he was out. He's just been off the track so many times that like it's maybe he was in the pits for a long time. But, you can see Tobias Thierolf departing the pit lane. Rejoins in 5th place, but that is effectively 2nd, as we have yet to see Max Simmons and the Argentinian cohort make their way into the pits. And James Butler is in. Passe went in, but it appears he has not served his mandatory pit stop, so he has not changed tires. Is my assumption, because to serve a mandatory pit stop in race room, you have to change 2 tires. Or he just may still be in the pits. I'm looking at the gap growing, so it could be he's just not finished his pit stop yet. Probably because they're trying to rebuild his front end. There we go. He is.
So, he is in up to his armpit slow.
I made the assumption that he maybe had messed up, and he did not. It's just the pit stop took a really long time. And Martin Edmonds overtakes James Butler while he is in the pit lane. As will Andrew D.
D's nuts.
So top 3 yet to pit, as well as Javier Vega. Vega did pit, but outside of the window.
Michael, I have a serious question for you.
You go ahead.
How come Columbus, Ohio doesn't have an NFL team?
Because there's already 2 NFL teams in Ohio, and they don't need a third.
Yeah, no, you say that, but those teams are really fucking terrible.
Bengals are okay right now.
Yeah, okay, they're okay for this
Joe
part
Burrow.
of the season.
Oh, they'll be okay.
No, they won't.
I have faith in Joe Burrow.
That's great. I appreciate and applaud that. I've had multiple faiths in multiple Cincinnati quarterbacks, but they have not been able to make the teams win good. Like
who though? Like they've been a dead end. They've been a dead end. Andy Dalton sucks.
Fuck you.
Andy Dalton has not been good, and it's shown since he left Cincinnati. He's been useless.
He got Okay, great. He got run over for 93 and a half seasons in Cincinnati because they had no fucking team, and he had to do it all on his own.
He was never that good, man.
You were never that
good. He was fine. Like he was a perfectly fine player, but he was not particularly good.
He was the best they've ever had.
I mean, probably. I think that's literally damning of their quarterback history.
He was the best around.
Actually, I'd say probably their best. And admittedly, he was injured for a lot of his stay there, but it's probably Carson Palmer.
Yeah. Probably. I think that's a 1A, 1B situation. But I think if you put an NFL team in Columbus and they just start destroying Cleveland and Cincinnati, it would be hilarious.
I don't know. I just think that there are not that many states that can support 3 NFL franchises with you okay, fine, you put a team in Columbus, maybe like Cincinnati or Cleveland, whichever is closer, I guess, just ends up getting screwed over. And like I don't think that's necessarily a positive solution for the league.
Well, I'm fine with them destroying themselves. Also, if they'd actually moved like a 3rd team to New York, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, New York, California, Texas, these are the exceptions because they're huge states.
Yeah, the problem is that New York's got 2 teams, and they claim one that is a New Jersey team. Also, can we get a team in Baltimore? Because I want to see people get fucking shanked.
The state of New York does have 2 teams, Buffalo and
Giants.
The Giants, and the Jets are in New Jersey.
Why are they so ashamed to say they're the New Jersey Giants? Or the New Jersey Jets?
Because New Jersey is down upon by like everybody.
I want a new team. I want a new team in Baltimore. I want a new team in Nashville.
They have a team in Baltimore.
Do they? Oh.
Baltimore Ravens.
Wait, sorry?
Baltimore Ravens, former team of Ray Lewis.
Right. I'm dumb. For some reason or other, like I know I
and they have a team in Nashville.
Oh right, the Titans. For some reason or other, I thought they weren't in Nashville.
They are.
They because early, like in the first couple seasons, they played somewhere else, didn't they?
They did. They were building a stadium in Nashville, and they played elsewhere.
Right. So that's where my brain has a disconnect. They should put like a real team in Atlanta. That would be great. And maybe also a real team in Jacksonville.
Big spin from Javier Vega. Rough day for him. Rough day for John Barker.
You're not wrong. I'm looking at a map of Florida right now, and I'm like, wow, Jacksonville, while simultaneously having the worst team in the world, also the best placement, geographically speaking, just based on storm protection. Because Tampa and Miami are fornicated. They're just messed up.
I'm looking at the list of Sudbury Wolf NHL graduates. There's a couple, but I haven't found a really good one yet.
Do you mean like Eric Brewer?
Did Eric Brewer? I don't see Brewer on the list.
What about Zdeno Chara?
No, we know where he's from.
Oh, yeah.
So far, the best I've got are Dale Hunter and Randy Carlisle.
Oh, damn it. There was a goalie. I think he also played for the Oilers like Eric Brewer did. But I don't remember his name. There was like a huge graduating class from my local Prince George Cougars. It was like Chara and Brewer and the goalie whose name doesn't ring a bell. And even one of the guys I went to.
Oh, whoa! What am I thinking about? The Wolves had the frickin' Stahl brothers, Eric Stahl, Mark Stahl. There you go.
And Julio Stahl.
Also Jared Stahl, who was kind of the failure of the family.
Wow. I don't remember him being bad.
He wasn't bad, but he didn't make the NHL.
Didn't he?
Nope.
Who's the third? Weren't there 3 Stahl brothers in the NHL?
Jordan, but he didn't play for the Wolves.
Well, then, I mean, he's clearly the superior player.
Let's see here. Well, they got Jared Stahl listed as having played 2 NHL games. Okay. 2 games with the Carolina Hurricanes in 2012, 2013. He registered 2 penalty minutes, no points.
Wow. All right, Mike. Last NFL question until I get bored and ask another one.
Jordan Stahl played.
Oh, you're just gonna disregard? Okay, fine. All right, see what it is.
Jordan Stahl played for the Peterborough Petes.
That's the clearly superior. It's either you play for the Petes or the Wheat Kings, or you just don't go to the show.
Also, Jordan Stahl, didn't know, still in the NHL right now.
Yep.
34 years old, playing for the Carolina Hurricanes.
34. God, he's so old. Practically dead when you hit 32.
Well, I think the deal with Jordan, as opposed to Eric and Mark, is that he actually had some good fundamentals, like a bottom 6 forward. So, like, when he physically started to drop off, he was still useful.
That is fair.
Aaron takes back
All right, Mike. We got a degenerate NFL gambling question for you.
Okay.
Over under 10.5 years before the Saints are forced to move from New Orleans to a non-underwater city like Shreveport or Jackson.
Oh, under.
That seems like a fair assessment. The over-under 15 years before the NFL tries something really stupid like moving somebody to Corpus Christi, which will then be immediately underwater by hurricanes.
There's no real interest in moving another team to Texas. That seems annoying.
What about Albuquerque? Or is that where the Cardinals are based?
Cardinals are in Phoenix.
Right. Albuquerque. The wrong turns.
Luciano Echazo going through a long pit stop here. He's dropping back quite a bit. Roman Barthez also with a bad pit stop, but will have fresher tires down the road. Andrew D going side by side with James Butler. Butler has caught up with D and is trying to take that 7th place. So, pit stops are wrapped up by everybody. Drive-through penalty. No, Luciano!
How dare you, sir?
Drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
We have faith in you, and you have betrayed us, Luciano.
It's going to drop him out of the top 10, I think. Probably not. Yeah, probably. It's going to put him behind Vic Vega, I would think. All right, run down after the pit stops. Rene Ermer still leads for Tobias Thierol, Max Simmons. Simmons has got Barthez very close to him right now. Or no, he doesn't. Barthez in 4th, Passe in 5th. Edmonds has moved up into 6th place because honestly, I think Echazo just stayed out there way too long. And Butler in 7th, followed by D, Echazo, pending penalty, Kaschuk, Vic Vega, Javier Vega, and Jean Marc.
All right, Mike.
Somebody in the wall there. Didn't catch you. I think that was Javier Vega.
Probably was. All right, Mike. Does the NFL expand to A, a foreign country, B, Albuquerque, New Mexico, or C, Salt Lake City, which is not on the shores of the Salt Lake? Question mark? What the fuck is that about?
Salt Lake City would be the most likely. It's the biggest of the bunch. I'm honestly a little bit surprised they haven't tried.
Well, for religious reasons, no football.
They definitely play a lot of football. There's a lot of college football in Utah.
It'd be interesting, like, they've frequently done the Buffalo Bills to Toronto thing. But it would be kind of interesting to see if maybe they did either one to, like, a team to Toronto and maybe a team to Mexico.
They've done Mexico a couple times as well as London.
Yeah, but London's never going to work.
Yeah, no, London makes 0 sense other than as a publicity stunt for like a one-time deal.
Yeah, you want to have like an outer league, like you want to reboot the NFL Europe, great, fine. But would you probably be better off having like a, I don't know, like a Tijuana team? You got no San Diego anymore. Put one in Tijuana. And maybe have one in the Montreal, perhaps low.
Montreal does have a very passionate football fan base. The Alouettes are routinely one of the highest sellout teams in the CFL, despite having had a bad team for like a lot of years.
You put one in Montreal, you put one in Tijuana, and then you get Anthony Calvillo to go like do booster for both. Done. Excellent. We win.
Nice.
NFL, hire me tomorrow. We have these ideas all the time. And then you put one in Mississauga. And you call them the Mississauga Rattlesnakes.
Makes no sense.
What do you mean makes no sense? It's not in Toronto, so you don't have to deal with the shitty fucking traffic? Oh wait, Mississauga is Toronto, my bad.
We're really not, actually. Our traffic is much better.
Mississauga is Toronto, Brampton is Toronto, Vaughan is Toronto, Ajax is Toronto, Oshawa is Toronto.
Vaughan is Toronto. You're correct on that one.
Oakville, Burlington, Hamilton, all Toronto.
Vaughan is just posh Toronto, essentially.
You put the NFL in the Mississauga, you call them the Mississauga Rattlesnake, you sell all the gear, you have an unlimited purchase for the helmet and the jersey. Or, here we go. You've done all this work in London, England. You put a team in London, Ontario, but you don't tell them it's Ontario. You just say London.
There's
the Americans
repetitive.
Don't know the difference.
There is repetitive talk about doing a team in London, Ontario for the CFL, actually. Orande, former Miami Dolphin player Orande Gadsden keeps trying to lead up here.
Interesting.
So it looks like we may have lost John Barker and Javier Vega from the race just because their pit markers have not disappeared with closing of the pit lane. So we're down to 11 cars. And I don't know if Echazo has served his drive-through penalty. Of course, it takes a while to serve your drive-through penalty when the lap is, 8.5 minutes long.
Correct. Or we put a team in Maine, and then the fans, like the Raiders used to have the Black Hole fan club. If you put one in Maine, you might have the Gang Bangors. You know what I'm saying?
See what you're saying. It's not gonna happen, but I see what you're saying.
Then you could have the Gang Bangor and the Bangor Gang.
Your race leader, Rene Ermer. Running it down here.
And then you put a team in
6 seconds out of Tobias.
You put a team in Juarez, and you call it the "Oh my God, what the fuck are we doing here?" Welcome to Juarez.
I'm trying to think of where I would, if I were to have an NFL expansion team, what would make the most sense, financially speaking.
It's probably Salt Lake City, but maybe Portland.
One of those two do seem the most likely.
Wyoming? Why not Wyoming? That's,
Not enough people.
Wow, you're just saying that because you're right.
I'm totally right. It's the squarest state in the union.
But they have a town called Buffalo. No, okay. We put a team in Buffalo, Wyoming, and they are also a Buffalo team. Therefore, we can sow complete and utter chaos in the NFL.
I think the NHL is probably the only one that has some expansion ideas that, I don't know why they haven't really tried before. It took them forever to go to Seattle, which I never really understood. Yeah. Seattle and Portland seem like natural
100%.
Options. And their lack of a team in Wisconsin has always been a bit weird.
That is considerably odd, as well as the rest of kind of any state that borders Canada seems like a
Well,
reasonable,
less
you
so
just
like
need to find the right place.
less so like Montana, the Dakotas, and Idaho, all kind of really underpopulated areas.
Wow, you're just treating this like you don't know what the Winnipeg Jets are.
No Baltimore. Well, Winnipeg is huge compared to any of the
true.
cities in those three states. Baltimore also seems like a place that like it's a bit weird that it hasn't been attempted.
Yeah, or like again, Maine, possibly like
Not
put one in Bangor.
not enough people. What you could do if you wanted to do something up in the Maine area is you probably stick the team in New Hampshire and try to make it like a New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine team. Like try to get the three
I
states.
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You want the return of the whale.
Or Connecticut. Connecticut makes sense.
It's time for the return of the whale. Whalers.
Also took a long ass time for them to go back to Minnesota and Ohio for some reason.
That's because they are racist against people with no culture.
Like, I'm aware that the Cleveland Barons and the Minnesota North Stars financially went bust, but, like, I don't know. Those are always markets that, to me, those teams were always bad because they failed to make money because they were just bad.
What if we stick one in Louisville?
No.
Kansas City.
Kansas City had a team. It was pretty much a disaster. They've actually had two teams.
Kansas City Smoke Chiefs.
They have the Chiefs and the what was the other one? The Scouts.
Well, I mean, they based those both off of native stereotypes, therefore they are cursed.
I believe one is technically the New Jersey Devils now.
Possibly.
I think the Kansas City Scouts moved to Colorado, became the Colorado Rockies, who then moved to New Jersey to become the Devils.
Well, if we put one in Albuquerque, they could become the Wrong Turns.
I mean, I guess you never know. Like, I would have never picked San Jose as a place that would actually pick up and become a hot
Yeah,
that
is
it
true.
has.
That is 100% true.
Same with Nashville.
I mean, if it works in San Jose, what about San Diego?
Like, get the team out of Arizona, please. The Coyotes
Lord.
are just an absolute waste.
Oh my God! Please, anywhere but there.
And the Panthers, move them.
They keep going. No, I don't understand.
The crowds don't though. Like it's not a matter of like the teams being bad. It's just like financially they're not viable.
What if we put one in St. Louis? Oh wait, they got one. Never mind. What if? What my plan is we put a professional hockey team in every massive barbecue market. I think that's a winner.
Probably.
We got some in Texas. We got one in St. Louis. We got
one in Nashville.
We need the Carolinas. Where do we go? Charlotte?
We have one. Carolina Hurricanes.
That's not a real team.
Raleigh, Carolina.
They're not even on the coast.
You got Carolina, you got Tennessee, you got Texas and Missouri.
West Virginia, hockey town. They probably don't have the economics to really fund that.
I mean, Richmond, Virginia might work.
That's true. All I know is we need the Whalers to come back and then maybe move a real team to Columbus.
Columbus Blue Jackets are doing well.
And then maybe we could put a team in Toronto. I know, like, we tried to call the Marlies up several times. Oh, what about Milwaukee?
Yeah, we talked about Wisconsin not having a team for a while there. Milwaukee or Green Bay would be my suggestions.
What about Minneapolis?
There is a team there, Minnesota Wild.
That's not a real team.
They are. I love their uniforms, actually. It's sweet.
They're not bad.
As Laissez Passer recovers from a spin.
I'm just scrolling across the map.
Looks like he'll probably lose a spot there to Martin Edmonds.
Martin Edmonds.
Martin into the top 5.
Take me home.
Martin Edmonds has had that quiet, solid day. Didn't qualify well, but he's working his way up there. He's now in the top 5 again. He's got 3 top 5s this season, taking 3rd at Watkins Glen, 4th and 5th at Portimao, and in 8th place at Oschersleben. So on pace for 5th again.
Yo. I have two sports media disasters queued up in my head. Are you ready?
Okay.
So I'm just scrolling a little bit east on Google Maps. Or west, sorry, on Google Maps. And I come across Bismarck, North Dakota. Picture a major a professional sports franchise being started up there, regardless of sport. And somebody tries to go with maybe a bit too risky on the World War II themes on the jerseys. And then everybody else starts, like 3% of that sports league starts reading a book. And they're like, oh, hunt the Bismarck! And it becomes like an annual tradition. But
Bismarck Battleship feels like an obvious...
That is the thing. That's where I'm going. And then we go over to Butte, Montana. And I think that one's pretty much self-explanatory. Because the home team could be like, we like big buttes and we cannot lie. And then everybody else could be like, we're going to kick your butte. And it's like, that actually probably would work. I think they'd sell enough merch on both sides of that to keep that team alive.
Probably. Oh, somebody's off there. Looking for who's dropping through the order. That is James Butler. Losing a spot to Andrew D, dropping down to 8th place.
No, James, what are you doing? How dare you lose to the Colonials? Andrew, well done.
You've been overtaken by the Colonials.
You have been surpassed by the Colonials.
Yes.
I say rather.
Oh, okay. MMA fighter of the day for you, Byron.
Okay.
So I'm looking through the rankings, checking out like prospects. Found this 4-0 dude. Name is Greg Tugwater. And his nickname, are you ready for it?
Please tell me it's Norman.
Remember the Alamo.
If anybody does not know what that's about, y'all need to
also his secondary nickname. Drink it down.
Nice. Drink it down. Y'all need to get on Google's and look up Norman Tugwater.
Norman Tugwater, fantasy sports lawyer.
Fantasy sports. Norman is the best sports attorney of all time. Well, he's the only sports attorney of all time. Which also makes him the worst.
Thank you, Shaq. Why they call him all day? He's on the gridiron all day. That is possibly the best bit that Gary Busey ever did.
I don't know, man. You remember Lethal Weapon 1?
Luciano Chazzo off the track, by the way. Drop it back. Hopefully he recovers before Magic Cash comes along and can retain that 99th place.
Get him, Kevin Shrug. Ferment on that ass.
So what do you think? Martin hangs on to 5th place here against Laissez-Passer?
I think Martin, he's might be passé on the inside or outside corner, but if not, he maybe spewed the tire goo onto the windshield and still win.
We'll see. Got 2 laps to go here around the Nordschleife. For Laissez-Passer and Martin Edmonds to sort out who gets 5th place. And Edmonds defends. Oh, Lord. I mean, those first 2 turns are really, really interesting. This whole not doing the Mercedes Arena section is really intriguing. They are catching up to Romain Barthez. Not really sure how Barthez has fallen back into their clutches. Maybe had a spin or something. So 4th place may be on offer.
Good old Romy Bartz. Like to thank you
Tobias
for joining
Thierolf
into the Pro Sports Podcast that happens to involve racing.
Tobias Thierolf has cut about 1.5 seconds out of Rene Ermer, so we'll see if he can. We'll see if he can make a charge for that win. But I mean, he also doesn't need to. He's won 3 out of 4 races already. He finished second in the race he didn't win. He's on pace for a second place here today, and you got to feel like he feels pretty good about this one.
See.
Max Simmons on pace for his first podium of the season. Romain Barthez, Martin Edmonds, Laissez-Passer. 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're kind of close together. Andrew D is secure enough in 7th place, but James Butler is closing on a little bit. Luciano Achazo in 9th. Kaschuk, Vic Vega. And then it seemed like Javier Vega had retired because they didn't take away his pit stop marker. But now it looks like he is still running. So I am greatly confused as to what's going on with the car in 12th place.
I'm not sure.
It does look like he's having a lonely run in 12th place right now.
Perhaps we can get Monsieur Passé a deal with the furniture company and you could have the Lasse boy.
Maybe.
You put the cup holder in, but it's only good for wine glass. Put the Pinot Noir and you chug it down low.
Ooh. Little squiggle there. A little bit of a tank slapper. He holds it. We know he's pushing, that's for sure. He wants that spot.
You say tank slapper. All I can think of in my head is kick of the nuts.
Are you saying that's not your purse?
I don't know you. That contains my valuables. You're going to get a hoof in the front butt.
That's right, Bobby. You will find that I have no testicles. She's lying. Finish her.
Spitting down elbow strike. Also, we got no NFL teams in Alabama, the Muslim capital of the world. Where
mostly because there's not a city in Alabama that has any kind of like financial
fucking Birmingham.
Stability. No, Birmingham is a financial mess.
We got a team in Birmingham. We put one in Jackson, Mississippi.
Mississippi is all kinds of problems.
Mississippi, the only state in the union that can't spell its own goddamn fucking state. Mississippi bad. Put it in fucking Birmingham.
Birmingham in the UK is more likely to get an NFL team than Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, I can see that actually happening. But wouldn't it be hilarious if people in Birmingham, Alabama started talking like people in Birmingham, England?
Intriguing.
Can we start that? Can somebody?
He is doing everything he can do to keep up with Martin Edmonds here. That car is being pushed to the absolute limit. Laissez-Passer has not given up on this top
He's
5.
He's a tenacious son of a bitch, and I salute you, sir.
If he was like, all right, I'll take home 6th place, we would not be seeing anywhere near this much power sliding. This is maximum effort going on.
I have done the multiple French-Canadian accent throughout this thing, but please take that as tribute, not mockery. Unless, I mean, you get off on that. Whatever you like.
Can he get the job done is the excluding question. I believe Rene Ermer has started his final lap of the race. So he just needs to get to the checkered flag and he'll have the day won. It looks like he's brought the gap back out to about 7.5 seconds back to Tobias Thierolf. So he's having... Looks like every time Thierolf starts to bring him in, he kind of just responds and says, you know what? I'm not going as fast as I can go.
Could it be
remind you
that Rene Ermer is the best racer ever to race under the inverted English flag of all time?
Danish flag. He's probably the best Danish driver I have had the pleasure of racing against. I will say that. But in reality, it's probably Kevin Magnussen.
Wow. Also, what kind of a big dick move is it? Like, oh, the English, right. Let's fuck with colorblind people.
Well, there's a ton of flags that use the cross features.
Oh, I'm aware.
All of the Scandinavian countries, for example. I want to say it's Andorra I'm thinking of that has a similar one.
Could be. I remember somebody broke down, like, they grabbed the Union Jack and they sectioned it off into, like, little sections, and it all breaks down into, like, somebody else's flag. Like, this is Norway. This is Sweden.
It's not Andorra. They're not even close. I'm not sure who I'm thinking about.
You are thinking about Ascension Island.
Georgia also plays the whole cross thing.
Jorge. Yeah, I know. That's why every time Giga Chicane fights, I call him the Super English. Because there's like 5 English people in one flag.
Faroe Islands, of course.
Of course. Being Danish.
James Butler putting the pressure on Andrew D. I didn't think he would catch him, but I was wrong. He's got a shot at it. And that is... Oh no, that was laissez-passer!
Maybe.
We were talking about his determination to get into the top 5, and well, that might have bit him. He might actually have been better off simply just kind of chilling and taking 6th place after that spin. Magic Kazchuk on the tail of Luciano Achazo after Achazo's drive-through penalty, I believe, has been served. I could be wrong. He's also missing a front end. That helps greatly. So a couple of guys are in considerable danger here down the stretch. Andrew D. and Luciano Achazo, 7th and 9th place, are under siege. Down towards the end here. They are under siege.
That's quite a good movie.
Go. Can Kazchuk get the job done? It's clearly that car is kind of driving Achazo more so than the other way around. Kazchuk does not show any visual damage anyways. So it looks like he has kept the car clean. James Butler overtaking Andrew D and getting it back. Can we get the camera on that, please? Cool.
Never.
Doesn't look like we're gonna get our wish on that one. And it looks like Butler maybe has one out. No, D is coming. Okay, D is now falling back a little bit. So I think D might have been escorted to the edge of the track. Maybe a little curb action. Because he is being dropped like a bad habit right now. Magic Kazchuk. Oh no, we go to the race leader, Rene Ermer, right now. That's bad timing. Some bad timing.
Could be worse.
It could be, but there we go. Achazo's lost the spot to Kazchuk. So we lost Butler overtaking D, and we lost Achazo getting overtaken by Kazchuk. Well, can't really blame anything this time, because unlike Assetto Corsa Competizione, Race Room does not have an adjustable auto director. It's just an auto director. And it did not come through for us in this occasion. We missed the 2 big overtakes. Missed the deciding moment for 7th and 9th place, although there is still one more lap for these cars. And last chance to strike back. Although I don't know if Achazo's in a position to do it, and I don't think D is either. Any hope Martin Edmonds had a 4th place seems to have faded away. He's about 5 seconds behind Roman Barthez, so he needs a fairly major mistake if he wants a shot at the Argentinian. Tobias Thierolf has closed the gap back down to about 7 seconds. We've seen this before. And then Irmer just kind of hits the afterburners and puts some gap between them. Giano getting a little off track there. There is our race leader, the race union sponsored car of Rene Irmer. He's had a fantastic day. It's been a quietly good season for Irmer. He finished 5th at Oschersleben, 4th at Watkins Glen, and then had that rough time at Portimao where he picked up a pair of 10ths. This is his first big moment, but if I'm not very much mistaken, we'll move him into the top 5 of the championship. Maybe even top 3.
You are very much mistaken.
Well, we'll find out.
I believe he will only be top 94.
This whole variable point system that Martin's got going on does make the standings a little bit difficult to calculate.
Martin, I salute you, you mathematically impossible bastard. Keep on keeping on with the non-Euclidean point system.
Barry and Andreasen were in the top 10 or top 5. They will probably drop out with their DNFs here today. Pretty tight outside of Thierolf. Thierolf's going to be I'm going to say about 25 points up ahead. And but after that, it's tight. It's going to be the likes of Irmer, Ebbins, Simmons, Barthez, Barrier, Andreasen, Javier Vega, Kaszczuk, all kind of cluttered together. Pick up the Intel inside car, Andrew D. There is Rene Irmer. This is the last time he will go through each of these sections. This next time across the checkered flag, Rene Irmer will become the 3rd different winner here in the Porsche GT Cup. He will join Tobias Thierolf and Tomas Centeno in the on that winner's trophy. I like Rene's Irmer livery, actually. It stands out pretty nicely. The lime green and the white and the black.
How come it's not red and white? What kind of a traitor is he?
I don't think he's ever run a red and white car. I don't think he's very big on the colors of the flag, to be honest. It tends to be green.
What if he ran one that literally looked like a Danish?
Does feel like a Danish bakery near him would be a good sponsor.
Correct. Tell you, man, it's the boys in the brake line, or the boys in the pit lane, just huffing on that brake lane. Boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka.
Everything looks pretty settled right now, barring mistakes. The closest gap on track is 3.1 seconds. That would be the gap between 7th place James Butler and 8th place Andrew D.
Delightful.
And that's a gap that, even as I've been speaking, has gone up like a full second. So, a little bit of wiggle on the big straightaway there from Rene. A little flashing of the headlights. He feels it. He feels all the hard work. The conquering of the Nordschleife has been his today, and race victory is his reward. Just a couple of corners to go yet.
Oh, well played, Rene. Wait,
Back into the stadium section we go.
I can't do a Danish accent, I'm sorry.
Here we go. Checkered flag is out for Rene Ermer. And victory for the Dane. Checkered flag has been awarded. Picking up Martin Edmonds here. Running in 5th place. Martin's had really a good race, though. We haven't talked about him a ton, but he qualified poorly. Hasn't really had the pace. 8:44 is not a particularly good best lap. But he's kept it clean. Like, his car is intact. And he's going to be rewarded with a 5th place here.
Kept it clean, kept it tacky, but not sloppy. So I think is a major, major win for him.
There's James Butler. 7th place is on offer right now. He is catching up to Laissez-Passer there. That's gaps down to about 3 seconds. So I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with the Frenchman. Because he is dropping back. Could just be him just wanting to get it home. More than anything else. We know his car is carrying some reasonable damage.
I find that to be entirely unreasonable, sir.
Well, that's your problem.
Possibly.
Tobias Thierolf has taken 2nd place officially. And has taken a 42-second lead over Ermer. So Ermer is probably doing donuts somewhere in celebration of this victory. High-hiving the fans. Although the fans admittedly probably not terribly receptive to Ermer, given that he beat the German Tobias Thierolf here today. And has robbed them their ability to celebrate a national victory. Butler finishes, and there we go. 11 cars making it to the end here. Oh, okay, it looks like Vega did actually make it to the end. Okay, so we have Rene Ermer winning from Tobias Thierolf, Max Simmons, Romain Barthez, Martin Edmonds, Laissez-Passer, James Butler, Andrew D, Magic Kashchuk, Luciano Chaza, Javier Vega, or Vic Vega, pardon me, and Javier Vega. We lost John Barker, Ricardo Costa, Afonso Alexander, Bertrand Barrier, Hendrik Andreasen, and Anthony Willis. It's a shame. I like Anthony Willis' livery there. I wish we had seen more of it. Championship breakdown. Thierolf leads the championship with 94 points, 69 for Rene Ermer, 59 for Max Simmons, 48 for Martin Edmonds, and 58 for Martin Edmonds, and 48 for Romain Barthez. That is your top 5. In the team's championship, it is Tugas Racing number 1, which is Thierolf, Andreasen, and Ermer leading the way with 178.5 points. 2nd place going to Canadian Pole, 2.2. They're way behind at 95.5. That's Martin Edmonds, Magic Kashchuk, Andrew D. Got 3 top 10s today. Orange Overclocked Racing finishing in is 3rd place right now at 87 points. That is Mauricio Delgado, James Butler, and Max Simmons. Esports Racing Argentina number 1 has 67 points. That is Luciano Chazo, Mateus Gonzalez, and Romain Barthez. And in 15th, it is La Diversitat Racing, which had a really bad day today with 0 points. That is Josiah Jerome, Bertrand Barrier, and Adam Komorowski. Byron, you have any final words? You have any final words for people?
Technically, both heroin and uranium are low calorie.